T minus 50 seconds. T minus 40 seconds. T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Shout out to Kopish.
Shout out to Kopish, guys.
Keep all the good work
the
up.
two legends, Emil Heskey, Howard Gill. Can't get much better than that, guys.
Yeah.
You know what to do now. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm with legends, guys.
Kopish.
Hello, lovely people. Hope you're well. Hope you had a great weekend. It is Monday, 27th of September. We're back with another live match preview. This time it is Porto, FC Porto versus Liverpool Football Club in the Champions League game week 2. Drift, how you doing, bro?
I'm still kind of feeling it, you know.
What, the Brentford game? Serious?
Yeah, but I nearly came in wearing shades because I'm in mourning, but you know you don't want people to see your eyes and that.
I'm gonna be all right. I've kind of got over it now.
Yeah, that's because it was such a superb card, but it's probably taking your mind off it. You know what I mean?
No, I'll be honest. I kind of got the Brentford game out of my system pretty quick. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
I just keep looking at the table and just thinking we could have a buffer, and it does keep on just giving me that little kickback. But
yeah, I mean, I've watched some of the game back, and I yeah, not to say I'm right, but I do stand by quite a lot of the stuff I said, and I do think Burnley. I do think Burnley on the brain. I do think Brentford actually played really well. I think because of the name Brentford, because they've just come up for the Championship, I think they're not getting the credit they deserve. I think had that been an established Premier League team that played against us like that, I genuinely think we would have. Not that we'd have been happy, because I'm not happy with the result. I'm annoyed about the result, but I don't think we'd be feeling it as much as a fan base. But I get the buffer. The buffer I wanted. And I'm annoyed that we let the lead slip twice. But I think it's because of the name Brentford.
I think we let them play well, and I'm not being disrespectful to them because they're a lower team. I think we let them play well. I think we didn't change the like watching it back again, like you said. I only watched extended highlights. So it was like maybe like a 30 or 40-minute like breakdown of the game, and I just don't like the way we didn't switch tactics, and I think we just let them, like a lot of two of their goals are almost identical, and the set piece we just fell asleep. I don't know, I just feel like we let them play well, bro. I feel like teams like Brentford, you don't let them play well.
Can I ask you a question though? If we'd won that game 3-2, would you have said they played well?
No, I would have still said we let them play well.
You would have, yeah.
We gave them too much room to implement obvious tactics.
I got to admire this. T-Gis, I needed that. Thank you. I needed that. Things are coming still. Things are coming. We're getting there. Things are coming. Now, look, Drift, I fully get where you're coming from. I hear you. I just think I see it different from you. Not to say I think you're wrong. I don't think you're wrong for what you're saying. I'm not feeling this one as much as it's like remember when we lost the City game after we won the league, and I was fuming, and you were like, "Nah, it's calm." I think it's like that. We've just reversed roles of it now. Like I'm not that I'm calm. I'm all right with it because I feel as though we'll bounce back from it. I do feel we'll bounce back.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so, man. I just feel like unless we get a draw or better against City at the weekend, that Brentford game's really gonna wind me up even more.
I hear that, but I think it. Danny DDT in the comments is saying that I also think it's a healthy kick up the backside as well, and I'd rather get a kick up the backside from Brentford and draw than get a kick up the backside from another team and lose.
I get
So
that.
that I will say, but
I
look,
get
Adrift,
that.
I get you. I do get you. The thing is, if we win against City next week, all is forgotten about. But if we lose, then it makes it. It's like the Midtjylland game. Let's say, for example, the Midtjylland game last season where we lost Simicast and Jota to injury. If we go on and we don't lose those 6-7 games in a row, we're right in it. Whereas we lost those games and we always came back to that Midtjylland game. So this is sort of that tipping point now. We're at that do or die almost, so to speak, in sense of can we put this game in our rear view by going on a good run or beating the next team in front of us, or is this gonna sort of come back to this game because we haven't picked up form and we've lost on a few points? So time will tell.
We're kind of getting a little bit of a habit over the years that I've watched, and I don't know if it's because we play at such a high intensity, where there'll always be these 1 or 2 games where not that we don't win or we lose, because anybody can lose. That's just football, isn't it? Even the best lose. That Barcelona team under Pep still lost football matches. So anybody can lose games. But what it is for me that's weird about these random games is we go into them and we look so off the boil in the game that we lose. Like, we're not just, oh, that team was better than us today. Like, we look drunk or we look like we're tired in that game. And I don't mean tired like fatigue. I mean like full is it Full Metal Jacket, where he just comes in, he's like, wake up. They just gotta like jump out of bed and start playing football, and they're like, they ain't even processed being awake yet. Do you know what I mean? Ain't even acclimatized. And it's weird that we just have those random games where we just look so off the boil. Do you know what I mean? I don't know, man. I don't know if anyone else has noticed, but we have those games every year where we're just off the pace, like we look like we're not even a good football team in that match, and that Brentford game kind of stunk at that a bit.
I hear that. John Conway says Porto 1, Liverpool 3. So on that note, let's get back to the game at hand then, the game against Porto, Drift. Last few times we've been to Porto, we've come away with big wins in the knockout stages of the Champions League. This is a slightly different Porto team to then, but they are still a team that plays good football. The crowd are massive for Porto. They've got one of the best fans and one of the best stadiums in terms of atmosphere, etc., in Europe. So I'm going to ask you what your thoughts are going to this game, and then we'll do an 11 of what we hope to see, because I think it's almost impossible to predict a Klopp 11 anymore because of just the season and where his mind's at. Not in a bad way, by the way, just saying it's impossible to predict because we have a lot more players available than we did last season as well. So how do you see the game playing out, Jeff?
After watching how well they played against Atletico, I don't think we can think about them being a Porto we've played in the past, that's for sure. Some people think they should have beat Atletico.
Klopp also said that in the press conference as well. He said he was very mindful of saying this is not the same Porto and we shouldn't even be thinking about prior results. And he also said what you just said about them they should have beat Atletico Madrid. Sorry.
And coming off the back of what looked like a really sleepy performance, I'm hoping that people are right, that it'll be a kick up the bum and we'll kind of go hard rather than kind of like continuing that level of performance. I feel like going away for the 3rd time in a row is also maybe a little bit of I know it's in a short space of time, but it's still 3 away games in a row, which is a bit of a bitch. Everybody always knows that can be a little bit of a kicker.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that we are fully on it, because how I see it is losing the game isn't detrimental to the group.
Yeah.
We've already got 3 points in the bag against a difficult game. So we haven't got no easy games in this group. But what a win would do is a win would fully cement us in a position where we can end this group with an easy kind of feeling, because we've already, so to speak, got it in the bag. Like if we get this win, all we've got to do is beat Atletico and draw, whichever way round you want to do it in the back-to-back games against them, and then we're through.
Yeah.
And then them last two games don't even have that much importance. Obviously, you still want to play well, but like we'd be sitting on 10 points, and that's pretty much qualification in the Champions League game, especially in a group this hard where, you know, everyone will take points off everyone. So no one will probably get 12 or 14 points or whatever, you know what I mean, that you get like with these big groups. So I will be very happy with a win. And I think a win is really important. Plus, we need that momentum going into the City game. But I am worried. If it was at Anfield, I'd probably be a bit more positive, especially after the Brentford result. But being away, third away game in a row, and against a team that are very good at home, that gives me that horrible feeling like something might go wrong in.
I hear that. I kind of echo everything you've just said. The previous games, I think a lot of the fan base will think the previous games are a way to judge how this game will go. Porto a very different outfit to those games, a very, very different outfit, and we have to be on our P's and Q's. Like if we play, or sorry, if we defend how we did against Brentford like that against Porto, we will get absolutely ripped to shreds. They will have no mercy on us, and they will do to us what we've done to them in the past. I do think, though, we have enough in the team and the squad to be able to get a win and to be able to get a convincing win. Not necessarily a large margin win, but a convincing win. But we have to play to our maximum. We have to go out there and we have to quieten down that crowd very, very early. If we go out there and we sort of shut the game down within the first 20 minutes, I'm not necessarily scoring a bag of goals, but even if you go 1-0 up and you sort of soak up their pressure, you take the sting out of their game, it makes the game so much easier and you can really get onto them, and their crowd will, not saying they'll turn against them, but they'll start to put pressure on them that they won't need, and we can capitalize on those situations and those periods. So I do think it will be a lively game, but we should have enough in theory. So Drift, I'm going to come to you next and ask you, who would you play in this game and why?
Okay, well, shout out to everyone in the comments who's reminded me kindly that my boy's going to be playing in this game, Diaz. I'm actually kind of worried about Trent playing against Diaz.
So I'm so that it doesn't seem as though I'm just going to copy you. I've already got a team written down here, so okay, we're gonna see how closely that team matches up.
Yeah. All right. I did think about playing Milner at right back because he's better defensively than Diaz. But
Trent.
So
you said them better defensively than Diaz. You've definitely got Diaz on your mind, bro.
Oh, sorry.
Diaz is living rent free right about now.
He should be a Liverpool player, bro. Other than Trent, but Diaz ain't no Zaha. And that ain't me being disrespectful to Zaha, but Milner being able to pocket Zaha, who he knows and he watches every week and all that. Diaz is a different kettle of fish, bro. Wait till you see this guy live. I actually want to play Gomez at right back because I'm hoping, even if he has a defensive lapse in concentration, the way maybe he can do every now and again, and that Trent does now and again, which is what kind of makes Trent bad. Gomez has the pace to keep up with Diaz. Trent doesn't.
Okay.
So I want to play Gomez at right back, and I want to play Ibu and Matip. I want Van Dijk to have a rest. One of the things that I watched in that game when I was trying to figure it out, right, so unless you went on a bender for real, unless the man there were up in Wetherspoons back in the grouse, or unless Robbo took their man to Scotland and their man were drinking Johnny Walker's finest, and that was the reason why their man there was the way they were. If it weren't that, then I think it might either be a physical or a mental fatigue thing with Van Dijk, where he's been thrust straight back into action from the beginning, barely had any rest, went and played international games, and after a year of not playing any football and having a really hard recovery from a career-ending injury, he must be maybe feeling it a bit now. Do you get what I mean? Like maybe this is the part where his body is getting a bit of that shock value of, right, every week is this what we're doing now? Yeah, and you're not used to it. And I'm feeling like he looked very flat-footed, very laboured. I know he had that one moment where he did his old school Virgil thing and he caught Tony when he was throwing goal. But that one isolated moment across 95 minutes cannot be a reflection. You've got to look at the whole game. And he was very flat-footed. He looked very not Van Dijk-ish. And I'm feeling like that might be a fatigue, whether it's mental, physical, whatever. So I say give him another break and keep him fresh for the Man City game. Just get him a bit worked up in training. So I'd go Ibu and Matip in this game, and I'd play Gomez at right back, and I'd play Tsimikas at left back. And then if Tsimikas has a good game, then I'm playing Tsimikas against Man City. And it ain't to rinse Robbo. I saw a couple of people saying in the comments and that, like, wow, we forgetting how good Robbo is. Of course we're not. But if you're off form, it doesn't matter who you are. If we've got a replacement who's good enough, you play the replacement, innit? Do you know what I mean?
Like, I think as a fan base, and there has to be a change in mentality. Like, we can't keep on coming on here and saying we don't dislike a player, we don't want a player sold, we don't hate a player, just because we feel as though there might be another player in better form. Like, unless you hear those words come out of our mouths, and you've got to kind of listen to what we say. Like, just because we criticize it, look, we all criticize Virgil on the weekend. Me and Matt all criticize Virgil. 95% of the comments criticize Virgil. Not one of us want Virgil to leave Liverpool Football Club. Not one of us don't believe that Virgil's the best centre-back in world football right now. But we have to call out what we see at the same time. Like, we've got you guys who you subscribe to the channel and follow us. And you subscribe, or most of you subscribe and follow us because you like the content. If we have a bad day, you guys are going to call us out. It doesn't mean you think we're rubbish at what we do. It's just the same thing applies for when we watch a football match and when we watch Liverpool. Like, we're probably about as passionate as it gets when it comes to Liverpool Football Club, but we do have our opinions as well.
Yeah, I just feel like he needs a bit of a break, and I feel like Robbo. I mean, I get the whole you've got to play your way into form. And when you're world class like Robbo is, obviously, you know that will happen. But I don't know, man. I think we get past the next two games, then bring Robbo in and let him play for a bit of form. I think these next two games are very vital. Very vital.
Fair, dude. So what are you going with in midfield then, Drift? This was the hardest one for me as well, by the way.
Yeah, I know Naby's back, but I'm a little worried that he might not be up to speed. I know he was only out for a week, but so I was kind of teetering around a little bit on whether to bring Naby in. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Watching the subliminals, I don't know if Thiago did it on purpose. Yeah, I don't like the way Liverpool aren't giving us the real deal these days. I get that they're trying to keep.
Cool. Let's save that for the Monday show. Let's save that for the Monday show.
Because you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. We'll save that for the Monday show.
Fabinho looked laboured again, but I'm sure he'll bounce back. That man that went on a bender cow, I am convinced, man. One of them man had a private house party or something. It don't make no sense, bro. In what world does Flacco, Matip, Van Dijk, and Ali all pull up stinkers in the same game?
I know. Let's focus on Porto.
No, but that's what I mean, because I don't know whether to play Robbo or whether to play Hendo.
You mean Fabinho or Hendo?
Yeah, so who did I say?
I said Robbo and Hendo. If we see
Sorry,
Robbo defensive midfield, then
I was going to
have to call out
Klopp. Yeah, I don't know whether to play Flacco or Hendo in the holding role. I'll go Flacco. I'll let him redeem himself. I'll go Flacco.
While you're thinking, let me just quickly read out super chats. So
yeah, go to
Drift from Aspect Limited. Drifty, things to get off my chest. One, Salah has the potential to eclipse Gerrard's Liverpool legacy with 4 more years of this form. Big, bold statement.
Wow.
If Tuchel hadn't won the Champions League, he'd be under more pressure to play expansive. Second point, I definitely agree with. First point,
100%.
First point, not saying I disagree. I'm just saying it's a very, very bold statement. Very bold statement. But I'm not
Yeah,
saying
you'll have to give me a minute, A-Spec, to think about that one.
A-Spec Limited says sections of our fan base slate FSG for not buying players to enhance the squad, then lose their head if Simicast plays ahead of Robbo. # contradiction. Yeah, very
That's
true.
A good point, actually. That's a good point.
Very good point. Zabiri says, Cow, I'm not here for content. I'm here to support Drifty putting up with Riki disrespect. Also, waiting for Consuela number to drop by. One love.
I big up your damn self support me, bro. There ain't been that many people backing me in the Origi thing.
Do you know what I say to you aren't in Consuela's number though, Zabiri?
No.
That's what I say, Zabiri. That's what I say. Big up yourself as always, Zabiri, bro. Gardner, so you got Flacco's DM. Who else you got in midfield with Flacco?
Curtis.
Cool.
Who I'm still very, very annoyed with.
Same here. That's my most annoyed I am about that game. Very
annoyed. I don't know if you saw his post, but he actually basically alluded to, I scored a banger and then I got taken off, but that's how life is, kind of thing. And then it made me watching the replay made me remember that he hit the post as well. Like when Jota missed what you lot considered a sitter and I said was just a fabulous save. That was a Curtis Jones thing as well. And I feel like maybe Jones either watches our content or he kind of gets the general consensus that you got to shoot from distance, man. If you get an opportunity, you got to take it.
You got to pack it.
He's probably the only one in our team at the moment who will have a shot from 20 yards.
We say that. Naby would.
I mean, he hit that volley, but he don't do it in open play, Cal. I can't remember the last time Naby had a 20-yard shot in open play.
That, again, is true. Can't disagree with that.
No, I mean, like, even Mane and Mo used to shoot from 20 yards. Even they don't do it anymore. Like, no one shoots from outside the box anymore. It's really weird.
True. That is very true.
So, I'd play Curtis in midfield. And then I was and ahhing about whether I give Hendo a rest for the City game because we're really going to need his energy in midfield in that game. And then play Ox. But based off of the last time we saw him, he didn't look good. But then I'm thinking, is it fair to let a man have a bad game and then like punish him and then not play him for ages? Because everybody can have bad games. And if you look at Ox's performance in the league game, it ain't no different to like Flacco's performance against Brentford, is it? Do you get what I mean? So
different circumstances, though.
They are, but
Norwich's B team and Brentford's A team is very different.
No, I know, but what I mean is being off form for a one-off game should be applicable to any situation, isn't it? Like, we shouldn't look at the opposition and then go, oh, well, that means Ox can never play well ever again. Do you get what I mean? And like hang him on that performance. Whereas with the others, we just give them a blight and they get to play again. So I was and ahhing about that, you know what I mean? So instead, I just came to the conclusion I'm going to play Milner.
So you play Milner midfield, yeah?
Yeah.
So Fabinho, Milner, and Jones.
Jones, yeah.
Cool. All right. And then who are you playing up top?
I'm going to go Jota left, Salah right, Origi down the middle, give Mane a rest and get him ready for Man City.
We've gone with the exact same forward line. So I'll just show you, just so no one thinks I'm doing the whole copy of man's paperwork and all that. So in defense, obviously Alisson in goal. In defense, I've actually got Milner right back, Gomez and Ibu, and Tsimikas. I'd like Matip and Virgil to both have a rest. And I think Ibu and Gomez playing with Tsimikas against Norwich, I think is a good thing because they can start to build up a bit of a partnership there. Milner, the reason I've gone Milner at right back is because I think he gives us a bit more defensive stability than Trent does.
I hear that, but I'm very worried about Milner against Diaz.
I know, but the reason why I think Trent struggles a little bit defensively is not necessarily because he's poor at defending one-on-one or anything like that. It's because he is so high and advanced up the pitch. Milner's not going to be as advanced as often as Trent. Trent is almost a right an inside right midfielder with the way he plays. Therefore, when we lose the ball and they're attacking down his side, there seems to be loads of space because he's already so advanced, because he's arguably our most creative player, or plays as that most creative player. So I don't necessarily think it's a slight on Trent because of his defensive work. I think it's more a case of his positional play because of how the team is set up. So that's why I'd go Milner. I think Milner, I'm not saying he's going to have an easy game against Diaz by any means. I'm not even saying he's going to come out on top, but I think he'd have a better chance than Trent from a defensive standpoint.
Positionally.
Yeah. In midfield, I've gone for Fabinho, Hendo, and Keita. I know Jones shouldn't have come off. Plus, I know Keita obviously missed the last week of action, but I think going with a bit more experience in midfield for this game and hoping that Keita can do the business. I did think about going 4-2-3-1, but I think it would be a risk to start like that. So I wouldn't. And then up top, I've gone Salah, Origi, and Jota. I'm very tempted to throw Minamino. Very, very tempted to throw Minamino.
Yeah,
if we're winning the game and we need to make substitutions, Minamino would probably be the first substitution I'd make. Again, I was also tempted to throw Bobby in as well, because Bobby's got a really good record against Porto. But I just think you look at Origi's performance against AC Milan, his performance against Norwich, I think Origi deserves to have a start. And I think it's something different that it gives us as a team as well. The reason I'd like Jota to start on the left is because I want Mane rested for the City game. The reason I haven't rested Salah is because we have no one to play in Salah's position to rest him. And I wouldn't go Taki on the right. But if we are winning the game and we're comfortable, Taki for Salah's the first substitution I'll be making. And then soon after that, I'll be bringing on Firmino for Jota. And then, unfortunately, I would push Origi. In fact, I'd go 4-3-1-2 if that were the case. And I'd play Minamino and Origi as a 2 up top and play Bobby in behind rather than doing 4-3-3 still. But
I've got a feeling that he'll play Bobby from the beginning, though, Cal, because those are our teams. If you ask me who Klopp's going to play, I think he's going to play Bobby from the beginning, you know.
Maybe. And again, I'd get it because Bobby's got a good record against Porto, but at the same time, that's Klopp contradicting himself because he's already said we shouldn't be thinking about the last games against Porto. We should be taking this as a new game. So if we're taking this as a new game, in my opinion, Origi should be the one who starts through the middle.
Yeah, and the other thing as well is I kind of will get the logic a little bit based on, the weekend. I actually think Bobby's going to be very important for that game. And now maybe a lot of people might go, Drift? I actually think the way they play possession football, I think you need a striker who will fill in and make the midfield more packed and help with the battle. And I know that then means that he's obviously not up front to get the goals. But I think when you're playing a possession-based team like City, you have to consider having an extra body to help in the midfield. If you look at the way they've been playing this season, whether it's been good or bad, like the Southampton game, for example, or then the Chelsea game as a complete separate result. But if you look at the performance, they dominate regardless what the end result was. And I feel like we cannot let them dominate. And I kind of think Firmino is good in that game for that. Obviously, we'll chop up the preview when we get to it. But I think you've got to kind of get a bit of game time in Bobby's legs if he's going to do that, though. So I kind of get the logic of him playing the Porto game, if that makes sense, even though I wouldn't, but I get the logic of it. So,
yeah, I'm going to have a very different view to you about Bobby playing in that City game. But I get where you're coming from. I genuinely do. I just have a different view. You know where I stand on the whole Bobby thing right now. I don't want to see him as a number 9 anymore.
I hear that. I told you about 20 in all comps, though. It's coming.
We'll see, Drift. I don't know, but I don't want to see it anymore. I think it's a system that's been figured out. Plus, I don't think it helps him. I don't think it helps the team anymore.
I hear that.
For me, he either plays as a 10. I'll be honest with you, Drift. I'm ready to see him play as an 8 if need be, rather than playing as a 9. I'd rather see him play as an 8.
I told you, Bob. I think he'd make a great 8.
Again, no shade to Naby, but I'd rather if you told to me tomorrow the starting lineup is Fabinho, Hendo, and Bobby instead of Keita, I'd be all good with that, you know. I'd be all good.
Sorry, if you say that again, sir.
If instead of caterers, Firmino starting is as an 8, you play Hendo on the right of the 3 and Bobby on the left of the 3, I'd actually be fine with that.
Oh, listen, I don't think people get it. Like when maybe everyone looked a bit sideways because they were like, "You want him to go from a number 9 to a number 8? That's crazy, Jim." But I've watched a lot of players over the years.
He's never been a 9 though.
Changes.
He's never been a 9. There's a reason he's called a false 9 because he's never been a 9.
And an 8 an 8 the way we play ain't the traditional 8. Do you get what I mean? Like the way we play 8, the 8 gets involved. The 8 is asked to be like creative and you know what I mean, and bring that little bit of oomph to the game. Thiago plays 8 for us essentially now, and he's asked to be creative. He does get up the pitch and end up on the edge of the box and things like that. I think Firmino, you take all the pressure off Firmino for goals, and I think he just enjoys his game. And I think if you're letting Firmino enjoy his game, he'll tear it up. I feel like the only thing that's holding him back in this bad run he's had, or this bad patch of form, so you could call it, is the pressure to get goals. Because even Klopp's had to come out and defend him about that and whatnot. I think you play him as an 8, you reinvent him. He's way too intelligent to not be able to do it. Give him a little time to get used to it. But I remember when I watched, say, Roy Keane go from a marauding box-to-box player to like, he was almost a centre-back by the end of his career. It happens as you get a bit older, you change your position. And if you're intelligent enough, as Bobby is, just the way Roy Keane was, you give him a little bit of time and he'll adapt. And then we don't even need a Genie replacement. You got Firmino, then we can just go all out for a strike.
Not going to go that far, Drift. I'll explain why in another show. But
I think he could be. I think he could be Genie's replacement in the midfield.
We need to buy another centre midfielder. We do need to buy another centre. Even if Bobby moves into the 8, we still need to buy because.
Oh yeah, because you've got Milner and other players. Yeah. But what I mean is,
Naby concern me. They concern.
Yeah. Of course. Basuma and Bobby. That can be the midfielders then moving forward, isn't it? It's easy, Cal. We're
346 on a Monday, and you just made my week, bro. I peaked, bro. How's it get better than this now? I'm Michael Owen in his career, bro. I peaked early, bro. I can't go any higher than this now. The best I can do is maintain now. I can't get any higher than that. But let's do score predictions, Drift. I'm gonna go 2-1 Liverpool. Hard fought battle.
I'm going to go 2-2. I think it'll be a draw. I wouldn't be surprised if it's 1-1.
That's fair enough.
I'm going 2-2 because I believe they'll score 2 goals.
That's fair enough. I think we can keep them down to 1.
I hope so.
I think we can keep them.
I believed in our defense until the Brentford game, so I'm trying to get back into that.
Technically, the defense won't be playing the same defense I play against Brentford. Won't play if it's my starting lineup, for example. It's a completely different defense, and I'd like to see that. Himanshu says, quickly talk about the AJ fight. He got outclassed, man. Can you hold us until the Monday night live show for that? We'll speak about that in more detail then. If that's all right, Himanshu, bro.
Yeah, the Monday show is a little less specific. So yeah.
So we'll go through it on that one. But
we'll definitely chop that up in the Monday night though, bro.
Yeah. Himanshu, if we forget to talk about it, even if you don't send another super chat, just put a message in the comments later on this evening and we'll make sure we talk about it, bro. But yes, lovely people. That has been your preview show. As always, I'm going to ask you guys to smash the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel. But also, I'd love to get your guys' starting 11 predictions or the team you'd like to see start. And on top of that, I'd love to hear from you guys what the score prediction is going to be. As we've said, we're going to be back this evening for the Monday night live show. Haven't determined the time yet, so make sure you just keep an eye on the socials for that. But until later, people, thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks for the support. Until later on this evening, stay safe, stay blessed. We're Kopish. Take care.
Peace.